We're at the 2015 Toronto International Film Festival with a filmmaker who, at the premiere of her film, got a rather unusual round of applause which just didn't seem to want to stop. It went on forever. And that, after covering the festival for so many years, was a proud moment, and I am proud now to be sitting with the director of Parched, Leena Yadav. Leena, thank you so much for being with Filmy Cafe.
Thanks to Filmy Cafe for giving us this honor.
Now, I wonder, when you were up on that platform, before you got up on that platform, as the film wrapped, and you were hearing the sound of the thundering applause, what was going through your mind?
Actually, lots of things went through my mind while I was watching the film with the audience. I mean, an audience of 500. I think this film screens better, larger the audience. And I could just feel how connected the audience was with the film.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they missed a moment of the film, and that itself was so joyful for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by the end of the film I had numbed out to it because I'd already seen how connected this audience was, and I was already awarded with that reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, what is the thought? Let's start with the title of the film. Unusual, different, catches the attention immediately. What was your thought behind titling the film Parched? Where does that title come from?
It was actually the title I wrote when I did my synopsis first.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just feeling that it's the parched souls. It's parched for sexuality, in terms of the sexual thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's parched in so many ways. Parched for life, liberation, freedom. And the landscape was parched.
Yeah.
And there were these beautiful, colorful flowers that were parched in that landscape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're telling a story which is rather brave. I don't know if the territory has been explored before. Do you feel as a filmmaker, Indian audiences are receptive to being shown the mirror like this film does?
You know what, I always like to hope for the best.
Well, what does your instinct tell you as a filmmaker?
I think, I don't know, the audience is really divided, not just in India, world over now.
Yeah.
And opinions are so much more specific, and like over the years I've noticed that people who I think are on the same wavelength and same mindset as me, we disagree on films.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Parched will find its audience even in India. I don't know how big or small it'll be, but I'm very sure it will, because we've been exposed to so much world cinema, and it can't be that they won't respond to it. Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
That is, if it gets to release the way it is, which is the only way I'm going to release the film.
That's what I wanted to get to next as well. You said at the premiere that I wonder if the film, I don't know about the release in India. I want it to release the way it is. Do you think that's going to be possible? And what are your opinions and take as a filmmaker of India today? What's your take on the censorship process in India, the censorship board? And will this film, where will this film go with that entire process?
I don't really have an answer for that. I have a hope for it.
Yeah.
That yes, and I would like to release the film, and I will only release the film the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because there won't be a film if we actually go through the kind of process that one has seen films go through.
Mm-hmm.
Because then the film won't be saying what it is saying the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
We have to open up and see things for what they are. I mean, censoring one part of it does not stop the exposure. We're being exposed to some amazing thoughts, art from all over the world, and it'll be silly to dumb ourselves down for whatever the censorship is, because I think you can't stop exposure. You just cannot stop it. Today is the silliest thing to even attempt.
Right.
It's coming. It's being bombarded. You'll be being bombarded with it from every angle, and nobody can stop it. Nobody can stop it.
Right.
If this film doesn't find a theatrical release, people will be seeing it on the net.
Mm-hmm. There's other routes, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're really being short-sighted and you're affecting business by that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should really be realistic in the world that we live in right now.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel India as a nation, because the film itself is talking about that transition process where there's two identities, the past and the present, and we're on our way to the future. So do you feel India as a country, as a nation, as an Indian filmmaker is sort of going through an identity crisis at this moment? We are struggling to figure out who we are and where we're on the way to. Are we going through an identity crisis?
I think this is happening world over.
Yeah.
You know, the more exposure we're getting, and there is a part of the world which is regressing actually. And suddenly everybody's wanting to hold on to some traditions and stuff because we're scared where we're headed. And that applies to India too, that there is a part which is there in the film, the younger generation, which is so-called the educated ones who have gone out to the cities and seen the world. They are the ones who are so much more regressive than the older generation.
It's true.
Yeah, and that's a comment on the world. It's not just for India.
Now you have many producers on this film, many names involved with it. Asim Bajaj being one of them, and you have a big name as well, like Ajay Devgn's production house involved with it. How do you feel? Like, what do you feel his name or his presence on the roster brings, and do you think it will give it more visibility in the mainstream, give it a better chance in censorship? What do you feel Ajay Devgn's name is going to bring to this production?
Firstly, I mean, I really thank him for the support. He came onto the film. He was the first person who came on and said, who's going to fund a film like this?
Right.
So, and he came on in complete support, saying that, okay, I want to support this film. And I don't know what it will bring and anything, but I'm very grateful to him for supporting a film like this. I'm sure it will. The fact in India these things matter. I mean, you need a star to, you know, even present a film. So I'm sure it's going to make a huge difference in India. Let's see.
Let's see. You've been making films. This is not your first film. You've done this process before. But in Parched, do you feel as a filmmaker you've found your voice?
Absolutely.
And what is
without
that
a
voice?
doubt.
Tell me about that.
I made the film I wanted to make. And my husband Asim Bajaj gave me this opportunity because after my first two films, I'm very proud of both of them, but I didn't completely say and do what I wanted to do. And I told him, you know, this process is so painful, I don't know whether I want to make films anymore. I don't know whether I want to spend another 4-5 years of my life doing something and not achieving what I wanted to.
Right.
And he said, I'm going to produce your next film, say what you want to, do it the way you want. And he gave me every opportunity, and this is, I own up to everything in this film, good, bad, ugly.
Jesse.
No, I mean, I own up to everything because he gave me that opportunity without any restriction, I could, you know, choose the actors I wanted, I worked with the people I wanted. There was absolutely nothing stopping me from, you know, anything. And so I own up to everything in this film. And that, I don't know how often a filmmaker could say that.
We can't, you know, have a conversation about Parched without talking about the phenomenal acting talent that you have on board this film, whether it's Tannishtha, Chatterjee, whether it's Radhika Apte, whether it's even in the little role Adam Hussain, whether it's Surveen Chawla. Do you feel as a filmmaker, when you have such talent, you're able to tackle subject matter maybe 5-10 years ago you wouldn't be able to, when you have such an ensemble cast that is able to execute a difficult subject matter? Do you feel it makes the whole process?
Of course, absolutely. I mean, every person in this film was cast for the acting talent without any pressure of saleability or star or anything. And that makes all the difference in storytelling.
My last question to you would be, the film essentially is a social commentary on India today, but in an entertaining format. How did you manage and balance that juggling act? Was it difficult, tiring, or it was there when you wrote the film?
I think that came from life, and a lot of people find this strange that she gets beaten up in one scene and the next scene she's laughing with her friends. But isn't that what life is? I mean, just because you're being beaten up doesn't mean you're just going to be sitting depressed every day. And actually this came from the women that I met in Kutch who shared their lives and stories with me, and they were all, sitting and giggling. And I remember I met this woman who was bruised, and I asked her at one point, "What are these bruises?" And she's like, "Let's not talk about that. We're having so much fun right now." Now my husband hits me, but that happens every day. Poor thing. He also has nowhere to take out his anger, so he takes it out on me. And I was like, I said, that's Lajjo.
Yeah.
That's my character, yeah. And that's what I wanted to achieve, because I'm not giving a lesson in this film. I'm not preaching anything. I'm showing you life. And the life always has good and bad, and you have a good day and you have a horrible day, and that's what it is, and one has to survive, and that's the spirit that these women inspired me to portray in the film.
Well, the film is an inspirational work. Thank you so much for making time for Filmy Cafe. We wish you all the best with your new voice.
Thank you so
May
much.
it get louder and louder and louder, and may it echo for many years
Thank you
to come.
so much.
Thank you so much for making time.